What's up, guys? Welcome back to Big Yogi's Garage. Today I got Vivica Penn. Hi, Vivica. Thank you for coming on Big Yogi's Garage.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so you're a freelance model, right?
Yes.
How did you even get into freelance modeling?
Well, when I was younger, my mom put me through John Casablanca. I didn't finish all the courses, but I was going through that for like a couple of months, I want to say. And that just kind of got me excited to model when I was younger. But we had to drop back from it a little bit because of finances at the time. I was only like 12. So when I became 20 years old, that's when I started to like get back into it a little bit.
Okay. So tell me about where are you from? Where did you grow up? Tell me a little bit about your childhood and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm from Toledo, Ohio. And I lived in Tennessee for a little bit when I was like 2-3 years old. I have some memories from it, so it was definitely a good time.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, growing up in Toledo, Ohio, like I was born and raised in, well, I was born in Oregon, raised on the east side, and I lived over there till I was about like in first grade, I want to say. And then I moved over to the west side, and I was there for probably like 13 years.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a great time. I feel like on the east side, I was just like, I don't know, around so many different types of people and just very open and friendly with everybody. I had like a little Kool-Aid stand when I was over there, so like the neighborhood supported me, which I thought was really cool. And then when I moved over onto the west side, I made like a whole bunch of friends that were like my age. I was homeschooled when I was in first grade, so when I moved, it was like a funny transition because I was like in the middle of the school year, but everybody else was like in school. So I would be like out by myself, and then around like 3 o'clock, then that's when everybody else would come out and play with me. But yeah, it was really just like a lot of fun, like hanging outside with like different friends. Willie's Park was right down the street, so I used to go swimming, and it was nice.
Okay, yeah, my stepdaughter, she cheers, and that's where all the kids go. There's like football practice, like the cheer practice. Everyone's at the pool all summer.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool little neighborhood right there.
Yeah, definitely. I enjoyed it.
That's cool. And what high school did you go to?
I went to Stark High School.
Oh, Star High School. So you did homeschooling, but eventually you went to.
So I was only homeschooled.
Like when you're little. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so only that only that year. But it was actually amazing though. Like I remember one time, and I don't know if I'm like exposing my mom for this or not,
No.
but I had like one history class that day, and I told her I didn't really feel like learning that day, you know, like I just wanted to go outside and play. And she was like, and we did that one class, and then I went outside and had a great time. But don't get me wrong, she was still like a really good teacher, and like every other day, you know, I did my stuff. But it was just like a different type of freedom, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because like sometimes like you gotta let kids be kids.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not everything's about the book.
Yeah, and I did have to like go into like different establishments sometimes and like take testing and stuff because that's just how they do it as homeschool. But she was like my primary teacher for everything. So
okay, so I didn't know that. So like when people get homeschooled, that eventually you gotta go take a test to see if you're up to par.
Yeah, exactly. I don't remember it too much because I was in the first grade. I was like very young. But I definitely remember like having to go and like take testing like at certain places, like big testing, not like every week or anything like that. But like I want to say probably like once or twice or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds like that would probably be like make a lot of sense to do that, because like that you know that the kids are up to like the standard age or you know
like
whatever
everything
smarts
that they need to be. So yeah, but it was cool though.
Yeah, that's cool. I grew up on the east side, so that's kind of cool. I've lived there ever since I was like a little baby. I've lived on the east side, so I know a lot about the east side, and a lot of people that watch are from the east side. Let's go.
Do you still live over there?
Yeah, no, I live in Sylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your modeling journey and stuff like that. Like you said, that's how you got into it. So like now, like where are you at with it? Like where did you take that?
Yeah, so I'm still currently a freelance model. But when I first started back up in 2020, which was like pre-pandemic, right before the pandemic, I was just shooting with different photographers that wanted to shoot with me, and I didn't know too much about it at all. I didn't have like a guidebook. I was just kind of like doing what I felt was right. But yeah, different photographers would reach out to me and want to like do photo shoots, and I would come up with concepts, or they would give me a concept and I would kind of match like what they had envisioned for the shoot. And after I started to do like quite a few photo shoots, I started to charge photographers for things like that. And that's how I was making like a little bit of money here and there. but it really wasn't much. And then I like started to take it a little bit more serious, and I went to Coco Rocha modeling boot camp out in New York, which was really cool. It was a great experience, and she taught us a little bit more about like what modeling really is, and how to carry yourself, how to get an agency, how to pose. That's like one of her big things, because she's like a phenomenal model when it comes to like posing and different facial expressions and everything like that. So yeah, from there, that's when I started to, I didn't really know what I was doing at first. So charging photographers, I think, was kind of like absurd in my opinion now. Because those same photographers I may like do collaborations with, or if they do some digitals for me, I may do like a concept for them, or whatever the case may be. It's just like an even exchange is the way that I see it, because they're helping me in the long run. But now like I am able to like charge different brands, or like if people reach out to me because they have a clothing brand, or if they have a hair care brand, or if they have a jewelry brand, or whatever the case may be, if they want to book me through that, that's how I get paid now. But I've also done like music videos as well, and I also do runway. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at now.
That's where you're at. Okay, so I met you one day that I was shot. I was like, I was in the mission of manifesting, right?
Yeah.
And I was like,
I think that's beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I had like, I was, looking for chairs for an office that I didn't have yet, but I seen a chair on Facebook Marketplace, and then I went to a garage sale, and you were there selling a chair, remember?
Yes,
yeah.
Definitely.
So that day so we talked, I told you about the podcast, I told you what I wanted to do, and you were telling me that you were moving to Detroit. So that is that when you like took off? Like what happened there? You was like, I'm gonna go there to grow, be bigger, or what?
Yeah, so
was Toledo like holding you down or something?
I don't want to say that. I absolutely love Toledo, don't get me wrong, but there's not a huge market here.
Okay.
Detroit is a very big growing city when it comes to fashion industry. The designers up there are doing their thing, and the film industry is really big up there too. I don't want to say it's really big, but it's growing. I mean, like they have like their own like Tubi movies out, and I know it's not like industry standard, but they're really building a like new culture, I want to say. Like it's definitely like a new Detroit type of feel. And it's like the spotlight's on Detroit right now. And before I moved up there, I was going up there so often for casting calls, and all my photographers are up there, and just my like modeling community is really up there. Okay. So I was traveling too much, and it was like putting way too many miles on my car, and I was just like, at this point, like I should just make the move, because it would be a lot. I would save so much of my time, so much of my money on gas and like oil changes, and it would just be like a better environment for me, in my opinion. So that's why I made the move. Yeah,
a lot of musicians that come on here, they're always telling me how even Detroit's really big in the music industry right now. Yeah,
exactly.
So like you could probably get a lot of videos and stuff up there too, right?
I'm kind of like selective on the videos. Videos are not really like my strong suit. I definitely think that they're a lot of fun, and they definitely pay the bills too, but it's not really like
your style,
what I'm aiming for, Okay. Yeah,
you have like a goal in mind or something?
Well, yeah, I like to do more like editorial or campaign or like commercial based things, and videos aren't really that,
Yeah, you remind me of one of my little cousins that she moved from Toledo to like Florida, and she's like on Disney flyers.
Oh, that's amazing.
And she's doing cool. She does like all kinds of little magazines. Right. She made like a YouTube movie with some producer, or maybe it was on Netflix, I don't even know, but yeah, she's doing things like that. Right. And she's like your style, like you know what I mean? She's Cuban, you know what I mean? But she's like that. Like you don't see her like on all kinds of like different videos and stuff. She did do one reggaeton video. Okay. So yeah, you did a few videos, right? Or no? Yeah, so I've been in a Babyface Ray video. I've also been in a Dej Loaf video in Doughboy, which was really cool. So the Babyface Ray was called Donda Bag, and then the Dej Loaf and Doughboy video was Roll the Dice. So that was pretty cool too. Okay, that's I've also was in another one, but I don't think it's released yet, so I don't want to speak. Oh yeah. Yeah, you might want to wait. Yeah. You pull the plug on something. Well, we did it like earlier on in the year, but it still hasn't released yet. Yeah. So it's like a little confusing sometimes, because
it's been so long for you, so you think like you're able to talk on it now, but it's still under wraps.
Yeah, you probably, because like they probably have to have, they're probably coming out with an album, so they probably have a whole bunch of videos and music to so who knows.
Sometimes it takes time.
Yeah, we don't know. Okay, so when I was talking about manifest, do you believe in manifestation?
Oh, 1000%.
Oh, yeah?
I feel like everything, I don't want to say everything that you think, because you have like 10,000 thoughts a day, and it would just kind of get out of control if like I thought about an elephant and it just appeared in the room. But what you think and your actions and everything that you consume definitely has everything to do with what's in your like immediate reality, from the people that you speak to, from how you were raised, from the music that you listen to, the TV that you consume, like we were just talking about earlier, like the stuff that you consume on your phone. It definitely has everything to do with like what your reality will turn into. So yeah, you definitely have to like be careful about like, I don't want to say be careful because that sounds like negative in a way, but you just want to be intentional about the things that you think on and where you envision yourself to be in the future, you know?
Yeah, I believe that too. I believe anything that goes into your ears and through your eyes will come out your mouth.
Well, if you don't have a filter, but definitely like filtering those things out, and also not thinking so hard on like the negative stuff that you may take in, just kind of like letting it go like in one ear and out the other, and not really like letting it sit and like marinate in your mind to like create more negative thoughts, you know?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because when you ponder things, you might ponder them the wrong way.
Exactly. Just fill your mind with positive thinking, positive thoughts, and like the things that you want to manifest, not the things that you have no control over,
Yeah, absolutely. So do you think that all this stuff that you're doing, or have you manifested all this, or is it like, or did it, like
no, definitely.
You wanted to be a model one day and now you are one? So.
Yeah, 1000%. That's where I put my energy. Like the people that I associate myself with, the things that like I feed into like on my daily, like I don't want to, I don't know how to explain it, but I mean, I don't want to be a zoo worker, so I'm not doing things that a zoo worker would do. So that's definitely like how I got to where I am and how I'm going to get to where I want to be in life. Absolutely. Is by putting energy towards the things that like mean the most to me,
And then you surround yourself with people in modeling industry.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So you can be around all that stuff.
And it's also fun too. Like, I don't want to say like I'm just like, around these people like to get to a certain place, because like ultimately like I'm able to help them, they're able to help me. Course. So for example, like a photo shoot's fun for me if the concept's amazing and I'm gonna get all dressed up. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but like as an outer body experience, it's almost like I'm a dress up doll, like I get to put on all this makeup and I get to do all these things to my hair, and I just get to like perform, if that makes sense. And like me and whoever else is on set has an amazing time doing it, and the outcome's beautiful, and from that I can use that material to get to the next step, and it's just a fun time.
It's fun creating, huh?
Exactly. So that's exactly what we were going back into, like just the creating versus consuming. Wouldn't you rather be a creator?
Absolutely. So now that you're a creator, do you consume as much social media and stuff like that?
So I don't feel my best when I'm in a screen. So like, for example, like on my phone, I try to like, I have time limits for my social media and stuff like that. I definitely like to show love to other people. I like to check up on some of my friends' stories, or like I'll post on my own story and like message people back and things. But I really just don't like to spend over like an hour, maybe like 2 at the most a day on my phone, really. Unless it's like a day dedicated to like emails or like posting some type of content, then I might spend a little bit more. But yeah, I just feel like you spending so much time in a screen is really not like ideal. It doesn't make, I don't know, it doesn't produce a happy outcome, in my opinion. Like fulfillment is just not going to be found in a screen. It's going to be found through life, through your own eyes, Yeah,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful, like, even because I show a lot of people love and stuff, like just like you said. So I do consume a little bit of it because I need to share other people's things. Right. But ever since I started my whole social media journey, like I don't actually consume it as much, like feeding into it. Right. I just use it. I need to use it to accomplish my goals still, because I share like I do duets on TikTok and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I do have to get.
Oh, I was actually watching your story last night, and I seen some of the ones that you were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I think that some people won't listen to me because they're like, Yogi is he's overwhelming, or maybe they see me too much. So I was thinking like one day like I'm gonna work out to duets so I can get some good messages out, but have all kinds of other people, talking to them, like, an
100%.
actor or whatever, Deion Sanders, whoever's on my duet,
Right.
But I search good messages. I'll look up like something that I'm thinking about, and then I insert it in me just working out next to them.
Right. And I think that that's amazing too, because you're showing your own momentum and how you're kind of following through with what like physical activity and like wellness and health can do for you. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been on this little crazy health journey. And I said from the beginning, I was like 300 pounds. And I said from the beginning, I'm going to record every single day.
That's
and
amazing.
I have.
That's
it's been like
amazing.
16 months.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, I've been recording the whole journey.
I remember that's something that you were telling me about when I first met you. And you're just so passionate about that. And I think that that's absolutely amazing. And it's an amazing message to like share to people. And like it's so motivational. And especially with the like duets that you're doing with it, like all the motivational speakers and like you actually being like an advocate for that, I think is like really powerful.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you so much, because sometimes I feel like, man, am I doing all this for nothing? But I do know that people are noticing, because a lot of people message me, and I motivate a lot of people. But there's still a feeling like it's still because I almost do it to motivate myself, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's not for no reason. And it's amazing that other people acknowledge that and that they use it to their benefit, but ultimately you're reaping all the benefits from it, And that's like, that's the best part about it.
Yeah. Sorry about that. There's
No, it's okay.
Every once in a while there's like a cop goes by or a truck or something.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
Those are the things you can't control.
Yeah, we can't control that kind of stuff. All right, so what was just, I kind of lost track.
No, you're okay. We were talking about content, consuming, and creating.
Oh, okay, yeah, consuming, creating. So, I mean, that's the best. The best thing is create, because it keeps your mind busy and you're not worried about consuming all the time.
Exactly.
You agree?
And it makes you like infatuated with your journey, in my opinion, because like when you're creating, for example, like you with this podcast, like you're seeing the outcome, you're able to improve because you see like what you did in the last one and how you want to move forward in the next one. And you just really become like very like, I don't want to say self-involved because that's like such of a negative concept, but very like infatuated and like almost like romanticizing your life, Yeah. And I think that that's amazing because like that's how it should be.
Yeah. And I don't only want to do it for myself, because I remember I told you that I want to do a podcast over there for my wife. And
right.
I want to grow like the whole family if my wife decides to jump on, and she already told me she did. So, okay. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about like your photo shoots and stuff like that. Have you ever had like any good like memorable moments, like walking down the runway, or like tell me a little bit about your modeling, like some good moments of that.
So I would say like when it comes to the runway, I had an amazing experience at New York Fashion Week.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
But it was so nerve-wracking because you think, I've been on runways before and you would think it's going to be the same. But when I stepped out on that stage in New York Fashion Week, it was like a wall full of cameras in front of me. So like they don't show the end of the stage, they just show what's on the stage.
Yeah.
But there was literally like a whole, like there's people on the side like normal, the stage, the models on the stage, but it was a whole wall full of cameras like right in front of me, and it's just like flash, and it was amazing. It was jaw dropping, but obviously I couldn't drop my jaw, so it was like, I don't even know how to explain it, but it was definitely like a surreal moment because those are things that like you would know like if you're there. Not if like you're watching from home or you're seeing photos or anything like that. So that was definitely really like memorable for me because I don't know, it was just like I didn't really expect that, but I should have expected that, So that was really cool.
Yeah, and in New York, how was New York? Like, isn't that like the model mecca or no? Is that?
Yeah, in America for sure.
In America, yeah.
It's like our biggest market.
Oh, okay.
Here. So yeah.
That's where all like the big model agencies are and stuff like that.
Yeah, we have like some smaller markets like in LA and Miami. LA is huge for acting mainly, but they definitely have a big modeling scene as well. But yeah, for America, New York is like the biggest market. So yeah, it's definitely like, I don't want to say intimidating, but that's like for lack of a better word, but it's very like, it's empowering, it's motivational, and it's definitely like surreal. Being in such a huge market with so many people, like you're able to take in so much information, learn so much, meet so many people, all in like one. I mean, Manhattan's small, you know, like all in one area. Like you can get pretty much anywhere in like, I want to say like 5 to like 30 minutes in New York, which is really cool, like as far as like Manhattan goes.
Yeah, like subway or taxi
exactly.
or whatever.
So yeah, it's really cool.
So like that's where like that big park is and stuff, or no?
Yeah,
like
Central
what's that?
Park?
Central Park, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, did you go to all that? You've seen all that stuff?
Yeah, I've been to Central Park. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's one of, I want to say it's the second biggest park in America. And it's huge. I mean, there's so many things there. Like you can get lost in it if you want. I took a bike tour around like Central Park, and they tell you pretty much like everything about it. Like there's been so many movies that have been filmed in Central Park, and like there's waterfalls over there.
Oh yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like they got their own thing set up over there.
And
it's really nice.
There's actually been like people like you know, were like missing and stuff like that.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, like I've heard like Central Park, like because you said it's so
huge.
big, like there's like little trails and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It is
there's been like some crazy stuff happening, all that.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. It used to be a village. Until,
for real?
Yeah, until
they probably took over.
Ago. Yeah,
until somehow somebody took over everybody's lands. And
and they just made it a park. But it's very interesting just knowing like the history of like, I mean, really just America, but like Manhattan in general, and just like how things have become what they are.
It's just crazy how there's all them buildings just like one park, like right in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
That's nuts. But they gotta have something, because like where are all them people gonna ground?
Well, it's literally like a concrete jungle in New York. Like you don't really see very much like nature
grass
at all.
Or nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Like grass isn't really existent. There's a couple of trees, like you know, along for decoration, but it's not like they need that part to stay sane. You know.
Yeah, because everybody lives like on top of each other.
Yeah.
Building on top of, or floor on top of floor.
Yeah.
And there's like millions of people in New York.
Yeah, it's actually like, it's definitely a different experience.
Yeah.
From like growing up in the Midwest, it's a complete change of scenery and change of pace. Everybody's like, go.
You went there alone?
Yeah, so I've been there.
You're like young. How old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay, but you went there like years ago, right?
No, so I started going there when I was 21. The first time I ever went to New York, and this was like pretty much right around the time where I started taking modeling seriously. But the first time I ever went to New York was for my 21st birthday. So I went there with one friend. I was there with a friend the first time, and we stayed for a week. And we stayed in Brooklyn, and it was just absolutely amazing. Literally, like, I started crying in the car because we drove, but I was so dramatic about it, because New York is somewhere that everybody wants to go, you know, because it's so different. But when I got there, I was just like blown away by it, and ever since then, I've just been going back for like different things. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. All right, so you're to do modeling, like, don't you have to be like health and is like health and fitness? Is that really important to you, or does it matter or no?
It's very important to me, but to do modeling.
Anybody can do modeling,
exactly.
Right?
So anybody can be a model.
Yeah, I don't know. I always see like nice like model, but yeah, you're right. Cause like even the store next to my wife's store, there's like models that are like big on the thing and everything.
Well, mannequins.
Not mannequins though. It's like,
oh, I know what you mean. Like the campaigns.
Yeah, like the campaigns. Yeah, and they're like regular people, and they're models. Like Victoria's Secret models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the industry has definitely like opened up a lot.
Okay.
And I would say like beauty isn't standard, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder. And I feel like it's so important that the industry has like opened up to that. But as far as like health and wellness goes, I don't want anybody to think that they have to like, because that's where a lot of like, what is it called? like eating disorders come from, because they think that you have to be a certain like way, shape, and like you don't have to. You can just be yourself, and as long as you're confident in that, and like nobody can tell you different. You're allowed to be a model. You're allowed to be whatever you want to be in this world. You know?
Absolutely.
So I think that that's really important to like recognize, especially like as like, you know, whoever may be watching this, like if they feel like they're not like, you know, whatever they believe to be beautiful, like you are, you just have to be confident in that. You know, you're perfect the way God made you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, you're right. Yeah, because even when I was like, when I was bigger or whatever, I used to look in the mirror and I tell myself I was so handsome.
Exactly, and that's the best part about it. You know, like no matter what, you should be able to enjoy life no matter what you look like. And the only way that you feel like you're not beautiful is by like projecting other people's standards or what you think like the industry standard is, you know? And like you're judging yourself. Like nobody is going to tell you that you're not beautiful. If like you don't go out there. You know, if you like are how you were, like I'm handsome, you're in the mirror and you're telling yourself like I'm amazing, you know?
Yeah,
like nobody's gonna tell you otherwise.
Yeah, my sisters used to always tell me that I was conceited, and I used to tell them, no, I'm confident.
Exactly, and that's how you should be. That's how everybody should be in this world.
Yeah, I've always been like that my whole life. Like, okay, so tell me about how like you do like healthy eating and stuff like that. I remember we talked about that. Like, tell me a little bit about your eating habits and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I am vegetarian, and I've been vegetarian for 2 years now.
Okay.
And I mean, I absolutely love it, but it has everything. It goes farther than just being vegetarian. Okay. Like, and it has everything to do with like, in my opinion, like fulfillment in life. But yeah, it goes way farther than just being like vegetarian. Like, you can eat meat and still be healthy, and I'm not like saying that like you have to like be vegetarian to be healthy, because a lot of people have the misconception that vegetarian and vegan are healthy, but you can be vegetarian or vegan and be unhealthy. For example, like Doritos and Skittles are both vegan. If you eat Doritos and Skittles, does that make you healthy? Exactly. So you have to know like what it is that you're consuming and why you're consuming it, what the health benefits are, and what it's going to do for your body. And everybody's different too. So what's healthy for me may not be what's healthy for you, you know? But yeah, it definitely has like a huge impact on like my life and what I try to preach to people, because I feel like I said, it does go farther than being vegetarian. So going back into like whole food diet and just understanding that like America, like our grocery stores are literally like 73% ultra processed food. And that right there is the reason why like 40% like of our country is overweight or obese, because we're eating all of these like ultra processed foods that don't even get digested by our bodies. But when you eat whole foods, that's like back to our like native way of eating, you know, like what grows out of the earth and the way God made it, and just consuming it the way it is, rather than like processing it and turning it into something that's colorful and sweet or sour or sugary or whatever the case may be, you know. But yeah, definitely like just going back to eating like fruits or vegetables, or like that's why I say like meat isn't bad, because like, I mean, that's the way God made it. If that's what you want to eat, then go ahead, but just making sure like it's sustainably sourced, it's not, you know, mass produced, and these animals are never seeing the light of day. Like, just making sure that what you're eating is sustainable, and you're conscious about what it was fed, and just like what it's going to do for your body, you know.
Can you give us some advice about like exploring healthier eating habits and stuff like that? Like how does someone like me, like, okay, say like I'm a McDonald's person, like I go breakfast McDonald's and taco, because a lot of people are doing this. Like, tell me, like, give me some like steps to like start exploring some, like what should I start doing little by little? Like, give me a little bit of insight. Okay.
I think that this is an amazing question, and I'm trying to make this like an easier process for me to explain things like this, because I want people to go all out. I want people to like, you know, drop the fast food and just eat whole foods all day, because that's where I'm at in my journey. But for somebody like you who's willing to transfer, I would say start small by picking up like different fruits that you normally don't keep in the house, Get some yogurt and granola and make yourself like a fruit bowl before bed. That's like a really nice way. In my opinion, I see it as a dessert. It's absolutely amazing. If I eat early enough, like if I eat dinner early enough and I'm digested a little bit enough to like have a fruit bowl. I know that sounds so silly, but like I don't like to overeat either. You know, if I'm full, I'm not going to force myself to eat a fruit bowl. But like if I've went through my day and I'm able to like eat a fruit bowl at night, that's like the best dessert ever, you know? And I'm able to like cut up my fruit, put granola in it, and then put like a little bit of yogurt on top, and use Greek yogurt rather than regular yogurt, because Greek yogurt has so many benefits to it rather than like regular yogurt. But like don't buy like yogurt with fruit already made in it. That doesn't count. You know, that's ultra processed. But if you buy the Greek yogurt, and you can even go organic if that's how far you want to go, and then you cut up your own fruit, and it's like therapeutic to make this for yourself too. But yeah, like start with like fruit bowls or something like that in the morning for breakfast. You can do a fruit bowl in the morning if you want, but you can also do oatmeal. So don't get like the quick oats. Get like whole organic rolled oats. And it takes like 10 minutes to make, if that, and start adding things into that. So you first, if you want to just do honey and cinnamon like the first day, and just, you know, start building off that. Like maybe you want to add apples the next day. Maybe you want to like look into some things like hemp seeds or like pine nuts or sunflower seeds or anything like that you can add into your oatmeal. If anybody says that they don't like oatmeal, they haven't tried it the right way. There's so many different ways to make oatmeal. You can even do overnight oats, which is really nice.
Yeah, my wife does that kind of stuff.
I love overnight oats.
Yeah, because they're already ready the next day.
Exactly, and it takes like, I want to say like 3 to 5 minutes to make in the like at night before you go to sleep, and it's packed with whatever you want. I do like in my oatmeal, like just to give people like an idea of like what you can put in it.
Absolutely.
But in my oatmeal, I'll do let's just say, okay, I'll do blueberries and almond butter, hemp seeds, chia seeds. Let's see, I'll do cranberries. I love cranberries. I love putting granola in my oatmeal too, because it's more filling that way. But oatmeal is already a great source of protein as well, but I have to get as much protein in my body as possible because I'm vegetarian. So I'm always trying to like find ways to like add in.
And fiber,
you know?
too, right?
Well, fiber pretty much comes from like
with the fruits.
Whole foods.
So from all of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So fiber
right.
is easy for me because that's pretty much all I eat. But the protein is what I really try to pack in. But yeah, I mean, like, you can add like pretty much whatever you want to your oatmeal. I think that it's amazing. That's why it's so like versatile. But yeah, like those are definitely some good things to start out with.
All the nuts you use and stuff, those are all protein, right? Like peanuts, almonds, all that kind of stuff. So when you buy those things, do you buy those whole food too? So peanuts and stuff like that. Almonds.
So whole food is what you would refer to as like almonds. Whole foods are things that come.
Yeah, I meant the store.
Yeah. No, so I do shop at Whole Foods.
No, because I know they said that those peanuts and stuff, if you get them, if they're like made in like some kind of oil, they're not as good as if you get them from Whole Foods, the store.
Okay,
you know
so
I don't know.
I think what you're referring to, and this is like a whole tangent. I'm gonna go on it though.
Yeah, okay? Go ahead. Let's go.
So what you're speaking about is like the oils that things can be cooked in. So peanuts aren't necessarily like in oils. I buy mine like in bulk from nuts.com. I think that nuts.com is like absolutely amazing for anything you want to shop for. So I get like my cranberries, my hemp seeds, my nuts, whatever I need. They're amazing. I want them to sponsor me, so hopefully they see this video. But yeah, what you do gotta watch out for when things are like cooked or processed in oils would be your granola. That's one thing that I find really hard to find clean. And what I mean by clean is like the way that it was made or processed. You want it to be like a clean ingredient or like a clean process. But yeah, you want to avoid canola oil. You want to avoid safflower oil. You want to avoid sunflower oil. All the seed oils, really. Seed oils. They're absolutely terrible for your body. They create inflammation in your body. It's just so bad, honestly. And it's pretty much in everything, like everything. You want to read your ingredients like to the max. But Yeah, granola is like a really hard one to find, I want to say. But I actually go to Kroger's and I find a couple of different ones that don't have those oils. You want to look for like coconut oil is typically in like the sweeter things, or like on the savory side. You want to go like avocado oil or olive oil, like extra virgin olive oil. But those are like good oils that to go with. Even I heard I was gonna say walnut oil, but I haven't done my research on that. But I heard that it was a good one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you definitely want to watch the oils because that's like a huge thing.
Yeah, I kind of know a little bit about the oils too because I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, who do you listen to?
I listen to almost everybody. A lot of comedians, but I listen to a lot of like Joe Rogan.
Okay.
I listen to murder mysteries. I listen to health and fitness, like a lot of. I don't know all the names. Mel Robinson.
I love Mel Robbins.
Yeah, I listen
She's
to her
amazing.
a lot. I listen to Gary Vee. There's so many.
Gary Vee is cool.
Yeah. So, anyways,
I actually want to mention some of the ones that I listen to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like you would like them a lot.
Yeah, tell me.
Jay Shetty's probably my top one. I love him so much.
Yeah, I listen.
Mel Robbins is amazing too. Her husband, Tony Robbins, is amazing, and Tom Bilyeu. He's amazing too, and so is Andrew Huberman.
Oh yeah, and Andrew Huberman.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking him, but I couldn't.
Another one that's really good. He's more of like a neuroscience. I don't want to say
Lex
doctor,
Friedman?
but scientist. That's what he is, like a neuroscientist. But what's his name? Mark Hyman.
Oh,
he's a really good doctor to listen to. I found him off of Jay Shetty's podcast, and he's one of my favorites too. He really goes into like we were just talking about, like the oils and sugars and what they do to your mind and body and how bad they are. And don't get me wrong, I don't cut out sugar like in my diet by any means, but I definitely have been way more aware of it in my diet ever since I started listening to Mark Hyman, because he gives so much knowledge on those types of things.
Yeah. I know that name, but I don't think I've ever listened to his podcast.
Yeah,
another
it's
one
called The Doctor's Pharmacy.
Yeah, I need to check that one out for sure. Another one I listen to is like Fasting for Life, because I do intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of fasting, podcasts that I listen to. There's different ones. And then Lex Friedman, he has a lot of those people like guests on.
Okay.
He's a really good one.
I'm gonna go back and watch some of these because I've never heard of those people.
Yeah, Lex Friedman is really good. He just had Mark Zuckerberg on one the other day, which they're on a podcast live on these VR sets across from the United States, and you can see both of them clear as day.
Oh wow!
It's like this new technology Facebook just came out with.
That's interesting.
Yeah, Lex Friedman and Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay.
Oh, about seed oils. So at one point, we used to only had avocado oil, olive oil, and then them oils that we're eating now used to be industry oils.
Yeah.
They used to run machines with that.
Yes.
But they were trying to make more money. The oil. You know what I mean? They were trying to make more money, so they cleaned that oil up really good, and now that's what they fry all of our foods with.
Exactly,
and put
they
in all of our
refine
foods.
it. So the refinery process and like the heating of those oils is what creates all the inflammation, because like they try to say, like if you look up, like for example, you said that you eat McDonald's sometimes. Guess what McDonald's is frying their stuff in? Canola oil.
Seed oil.
Like, but not even just canola oil. It's a mixture of oils. So pretty much canola oil with safflower and all of those oils like mixed in one. But if you look up canola oil on Google, it'll say that it's healthy. But McDonald's being one of the most unhealthy fast foods of like all time, I mean, I can't even really rank them because all fast food's terrible. But if you think about it, why would McDonald's use avocado oil or peanut oil or like any good quality oil? So if you're looking up these oils and seeing like what benefits they do, and they say that they're good for you, but all these low quality fast food places are using it, what do you really think? You gotta kind of like think outside of the box when it comes to this stuff, because they're gonna tell you it's good for you, and they're gonna tell you that it's not the reason why people are obese, and it's not the reason why people are getting heart disease or are like can't. They're gonna tell you that it's not the reason, so they can keep selling it to you.
Of course, because they need to make money every quarter.
Exactly.
They need to make more money.
Yeah.
So they're cutting costs at any cost they can. There's no way they can use an olive oil.
Yeah.
They would be like, they wouldn't make enough money.
Yeah. Well, they would make money because they're well off.
Of course.
But they just want to make as much money as possible, because I'm sure that they're preparing to get like, I'm sure people are going to start coming after them eventually when people start to wake up. But they're preparing for that. They're like, we're going to do as much as we can while we can, you know? And I feel like that's why we really need to get on it and like get people like, and hold people accountable for the stuff that they've been feeding our people for like decades now.
Absolutely.
You know?
And then sugar, what's the worst thing about what you said? Sugar is really bad, right?
Yeah. So.
But what's worse, eating sugar or drinking sugar? What's one?
So, it's almost like a trick question because what's worse is eating sugar that's given to you in a processed form.
Oh, okay.
If you're adding honey or cane sugar to your meals or to your tea or to your oatmeal, that's not really like as bad as buying a Snickers or buying not Snickers, but Skittles or something like that, or drinking like, you know, Starbucks coffee or something like that, because that's when it becomes like very ultra processed. And there's different types of sugars. I don't want to quote him specifically because this is still kind of like newer information to me, but fructose and pretty much anything that ends with like sucrose is really terrible for you. It's the type of sugars that you're consuming. And I really wish.
So like it's like fructose corn syrup or something.
Yeah, like high fructose corn syrup is terrible for you.
Yeah.
That's absolutely one of the worst things that you can consume.
Yeah.
What it does, and again, I don't really want to quote him exactly, but I'm almost positive I can say this correctly. Yeah. And people could hold me accountable for it.
No,
but
you're so far. Everything you're saying is accountable because I know about all this stuff.
So yeah, when it comes to like your microbiome, your gut microbiome, there's like good guys and there's bad guys down there, you know, and it's almost like a second brain, really. It's really like your first brain because your gut, that's why they say like you are what you eat, because your gut gives your brains directions and like through your nervous system, right? So if you're eating this like fructose or sucrose or there's a whole bunch of other ones that I can't remember, but pretty much anything that ends with ose, because that means sugar. If you're eating those things, it pretty much feeds the bad guys and it starves the good guys of like what you're actually supposed to be eating. Again, back to whole foods. But if you're eating these like ultra processed sugars and stuff like that, it sends signals to your mind. And this is where I don't want to get too specific because I don't know exactly what it does. Like I can't word for word tell you exactly what it does, but it pretty much programs you to crave those things and get dependent on those things and not really function without them because of the spikes in like your dopamine levels when it comes to those like sugars.
Because what happens is the bacteria starts running our body.
Exactly.
Those bacteria in our gut, they're so happy and they want more. They send signals to our brain that we want McDonald's again, or that we want that bread again. Because then when we eat a piece of bread, that turns into sugar and it feeds those bad guys.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And those start controlling our lives and our emotions, and we start getting mad and all this stuff. It's actually them little bacteria. There's live things inside of us that control us. And sugar is so bad that there's studies out there right now that it's a lot of the cause of these older people getting dementia because they're seeing that the sugar, long-term sugar, is like drying up the little veins in like around that memory part. And it's actually it's like causing dementia. That's why we're having such a bad dementia. So many of our older people have more dementia now than they did before. And a lot of the a lot of people like my parents' age are dying younger than our grandparents. Our grandparents used to last to like 80 or something, but now a lot of like people, because they've been eating this fast food sugar for so long, so they're like 60 something and they're dying in their 60s. They're not even lasting to their 80s or 90s no more. Because ever since America put that pyramid, or you know, they did that pyramid, they switched 1000%. From fat to like sugar or something. I don't know, from fat to it used to be like we used to eat whole fats, like fat inside meats, fat like you said, olive oils, avocado oil, stuff like that. But they switched it. They said that's not. Someone paid somebody $5,000 to switch this pyramid. There's like a whole thing about this on Joe Rogan and a lot of podcasts.
I mean, people are becoming more aware of it now than ever. But yeah, when it comes to like the plate and how much you're supposed to eat, like as far as like meat in fruit, in like milk and all these other things. Like we're not supposed to be drinking milk. We're human. We're not supposed to drink cow's milk. Do you see what cow's milk does to baby calves? It blows them up. We're not supposed to be drinking stuff like that. Like especially the Black community, it's absolutely terrible for us. That's why a lot of us are Black.
Drinking milk.
Yeah, that's why a lot of us are lactose intolerant, because the Black community is not supposed to like have that shit at all. I didn't mean to cuss.
No, it's okay.
But yeah,
I mean,
no,
it
definitely.
is what it is.
But yeah, I mean that stuff is absolutely terrible. But when it comes to like the fruit portions, like they're real little fruit portions, but you're supposed to have this much meat and this much carbs, and that's not right either. Like a documentary that I was just watching, and I'm only on like episode 2, but it's a 4-episode documentary. It's on Netflix. It was just put out recently. It's called Live to 100, and then it's The Secrets of the Blue Zones. Like, so it's like that like that's the whole name to it. But yeah, basically what blue zones are is like there's like 5 different areas in the world that there is like a concentrated population of centritarians. And centritarians are, I want to say that centritarians, centritarians are people who live to 100 and more. And these people, like when people started doing this research and wondering like, well, this is a high concentrate of like people who are living so long, what's the secret to longevity? And excuse me. And what it's doing is basically like they went and studied like why these people are living so long and what they're doing, and is it a secret food that they're eating? What is it? And it's pretty much like a combination of everything. It has to do with their food and how active they are. That's a huge part of it, because a lot of like today's society, especially in America, and that's what I'm going to refer to the most because obviously that's where I live.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people, like what they do is they wake up and they get in their cars and go to work, and when they get in their cars they're sitting, when they go to work they're sitting, or let's say you do have an active job, when you get home you're sitting because you were tired of working all day, or let's say you were sitting at work all day at an office and then you get home and you sit in front of your couch and pretty much you're sitting all day. Even if your mind is working or even if you're driving and you're physically moving across the map, you're still sitting. And what it's like showing in these different areas, for example, it's called Okinawa, Japan. That's where it is.
That's where the blue zone is?
Yeah, that's where one of them is. I think that's the most concentrated.
There's a couple of them.
But yeah, another one's in Costa Rica. Another one is in California. Another one is in a small island off Italy. I think that's 4. I don't know where the 5th one is exactly.
I've heard of them, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about that.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm only on the 2nd episode. There's like 4 total. I haven't even finished the 2nd episode. I don't normally watch TV too often, but when I do, it's normally for stuff like this because I'm very excited and like just passionate about health in general. But yeah, like these places, it's amazing, like because they're gardening every day or they're like traveling like uphill. Like the first one that I watched was in Okinawa, Japan, but the second one's like in Italy. And in Okinawa, what they're doing is like they're active with their family all day, or if you don't have much family, because World War II hit them like really hard, and they lost like 200,000 people, which is like insane. You know, like a lot of people are like, I don't want to say messed up because that's not the way they portrayed it in the documentary. They were very grateful to still be alive. And because of that, that's kind of like what fuels them to keep going and just stay active and garden. Or if they don't have family to like hang out with and be active with, they make like these little community groups. And what they do is like they'll pull money together to like save, like if one person is going through hardship, like they'll pull money together to like help that one person. But it's not just awesome. Like, yeah, exactly. But it's not just a financial thing either. It's also they're coming together and they're playing instruments and singing together. And that's huge too, you know? But like in America, we're having like a lonely crisis. And everybody feels so disconnected and lonely. But think about our food. Like the way that our food is built, and like it's, you know, fast food and like you can get it through DoorDash and you can just be lonely and you don't have to go out and garden or make a community or, you know, pretty much go to the store. I mean, your groceries can get dropped off at your door if you want them to. But all these things like give you more and more reason to just kind of like isolate yourself and be lonely. And you know, social media connects us all. So we feel connected, but in reality, we haven't seen somebody in 3 days, you know? It's crazy how our minds work now with like just this fast stimulation with like food and people and just connection in general. It's pretty much like just gone.
I know.
It's crazy.
I told my daughter the other day, because I do social media every day, but my daughter's not really active. And I said, I miss you. She's like, yeah. And but I was like, she says she sees me every day on social media.
Yeah.
So she doesn't miss me as much because she's always watching me.
Right.
But I miss her like hell. When she posts one picture, I'm like, oh man, that's my daughter.
Exactly. You know,
because she's 18 now. So I mean, no, she's 21.
Okay.
So she's like,
gonna be mad at you when she finds out that you messed up her age. Like,
no, she's an adult now, you know.
Yeah.
So like, I don't see her that much. She has her own life. But when she posted one picture, I'm like, man, I love my daughter. I love you. I miss you.
Yeah.
You know? But she can't miss me as much.
I wish my dad was like that. When he watches this, I just want him to. I mean, he's kind of like that, but he don't actually say it. He just thinks it and tells everybody else about it. But yeah.
I love my daughter so much, man. Like,
that's amazing.
Like, I don't know. We're just like, I don't really like to talk about her so much because she's not big on social media. So, but I love her so much. She's the best.
I think that's beautiful for you guys. I think that's amazing.
That's that's her name right there, Madison.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I did that when she was little, and she used to kiss it, but now she don't. She's going when she was really little.
That's sweet.
All right, so we talked a lot about health and stuff. Was there anything else we should bring up about health? And
I feel like I went on a crazy tangent, and I don't know exactly where. I mean, my mind just goes crazy when it comes to things like this.
But you talked a lot of good stuff there, man. We talked about, like, that's a lot of important stuff that I try to preach a lot of this stuff, but like not a lot of people listen to me. So that's why I sit back and I'll just let you do it. We just came back from break. We took a little break. We went to use the bathroom. I got a drink of water because I forgot to bring my water, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so I was talking about mindful eating. Tell me a little bit about how we're supposed to be thinking about eating, and like why is it so important to actually be mindful when we eat stuff and not just let the food take over our body.
Yeah. So in my opinion, food and eating is sacred. Like, and that's how everyone should view it. I feel like in the society of like fast food and everything, people have kind of taken it for granted and just kind of like put whatever into their bodies. They don't really care about what it does or anything like that. But like realistically, it's what fuels our everyday movements. It, like, for example, if you eat something that's rancid, you're gonna have a terrible next day, you know. Or like if you eat something that's poisonous, you're probably not gonna live past that. But like what you eat and put into your body ultimately like determines like your life expectancy. And I feel like that's how like more people should see it realistically. But the way that it caters to your mind, and I think that's kind of what you were like more referring to, is like, in what I like wanted to mention earlier before we took our break, was that when I first became vegetarian, I heard this quote and it said like beings that can control what they eat can ultimately control anything. And I think that that's so real because a lot of people get into like I want to say like scarcity mindset and in survival mode, and we are animals, whether people want to like really admit it or not, but I mean we're a species just like the others, you know, and we can really just kind of like scarf down our food almost, you know, but actually sitting like down to take the time to pick out what you're going to eat, prepare it for yourself, and like take the time to consume it without just kind of like eating it in like 5 minutes or so. It should take you about 20 minutes to eat a full like plate of food.
Of course.
And I feel like it's just like it becomes sacred and like ritual almost at that point. But yeah, like when you're able to control that and kind of control your impulses to like, oh my God, I'm starving, like, and then just actually just eating whatever's available to you, then you're able to have discipline for yourself when it comes to like getting up in the morning or when it comes to doing a hard task that you don't really want to do, because it has everything to do with those dopamine levels that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So,
That scarcity thing you were saying, that's real. That's 100% true, because A lot of people still have our ancestry mindset where food was scarce, right?
Yes.
So when we did get like an animal, like the husband went and, you know, hunted an animal,
Right.
he would bring it to the wife, she would
Exactly.
skin it, cook it, and then we had, like, everybody that would eat, you know, they would stuff themselves because they didn't know when was the next time they were going to get another meal.
Right.
So, or they would like pack it away or whatever, pack some away, but they would eat as much as they could.
Right.
And then, but the thing is now,
It's
we sti-
widely available.
we still have that mind, like inside of us, we still have that mindset, but food is widely available. We have money, we have jobs. Now we have to control our, like you said, our mindset and control it. Like I've been doing intermittent fasting for 15 months.
Yeah.
Every single day, I only eat from noon to 8. I am not the healthiest eater. I still, you know, but I do try to eat at home, whole foods, chicken, rice, steak,
That's amazing.
you know, beans, whole foods, fruits. I don't eat
Right.
vegetables. I've never been a vegetable eater. It's hard for me to chew, and like when I eat lettuce, I've tried. I can't like get it to, you know what I mean? So, but I do limit. I have an on and off switch, and I don't eat fast food no more. I have.
That's
before
amazing.
in the past I would eat a lot of fast food.
That's
I don't eat fast food no more. I just eat.
That's a huge milestone right there. And I would say give yourself more credit because what you started this conversation was you're not the healthiest eater.
Yeah.
But some people may be listening to this like, wow, I'm trying to get like him. You
Yeah.
know, like somebody may be where you were 5 years ago. And it like, it's the progress that matters, you know? And I feel like that's like really important, and like congratulating yourself on that, I
Yeah.
feel like is important too.
Yeah, thank you so much. And then I also drinking sugar. The body, okay, when we eat sugar, the body knows how to process sugar that we eat. But when we drink sugar, the body does not know how we got that much sugar in liquid form drinking it. Because this is what happens. When we eat an apple, the mass of the apple goes into our stomach and it breaks down and it gives us sugar through the apple, through our blood system
Right.
as it's breaking down.
Right.
Because it's a mass of fiber that's breaking down little by little. But when we drink a soda or drink a big juice like orange juice, that's all that sugar is going into your body at one time like this, and your body's like, whoa, what just happened? And it's processing all this sugar through your blood system like this, and that's why we get the high ups and the lows.
I
Like,
appreciate you for sharing that because I had no idea
Yeah.
about that. Like that's something that I haven't came across in my discoveries, and I feel like that definitely makes a lot of sense, especially the way that you described it. But yes, I mean, like I cut out pop like years ago.
Yeah, that's
and
really
it's,
good.
It's so bad for you.
So
like,
bad.
and even like, especially like Coca-Cola and Pepsi. I mean, I don't even want to say especially because every
All of
last
them.
one of them
All of them.
are terrible for you. But yeah, I mean, what you're saying, like especially like when it comes to like the highs and the lows, even like with coffee, like coffee does that to you too, especially when you put all that sugar in it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like
yeah.
the juices, the apple juice, orange juice, those aren't like it's not like they're juicing it in a cold pressed juicer and it's actually like giving you all the benefits.
No.
Like it's pretty much all sugar too, you
Yeah.
know? So yeah, that stuff definitely
Like
is not
if you're
the best.
the best thing if you're gonna drink sugar is get like a juicer and you put like fresh fruits in there and
Right.
let them, because then your body knows that. Your body
Exactly.
knows what those sugars are. It's natural sugars.
Exactly.
Your body can break them things down. But a soda, an orange juice from a process, like one of those like things, those are really bad. Even apple juice is really bad. Okay, now listen to this. I learned this too. A soda, it has like 30 grams of sugar or whatever. I don't know the exact number, but them 30 grams of sugar in 1933, an average person would only drink about, or would only eat about 3 grams of sugar per day or something like that, because
Yeah.
their food didn't have that much sugar.
Right.
And now a can has 30 grams. So, and there's
And
kids.
people are drinking cans a day.
Yeah, there's
Like
kids that are
multiple
drinking
cans.
like 3 or 4 cans a day.
Yeah, it's insane.
So they're drinking 90 to 120 grams of sugar, drinking it, and our bodies don't even know what to do with that.
Yeah.
So that's why we get all this inflammation, and that's why we're getting all this obesity, and we're getting sicknesses. We're getting
Yeah.
all these diabetes. Diabetes was never this big. Sleep apnea was never this big.
Yeah.
Dementia was never this big. All these sicknesses are growing because the food. And
Yeah.
a lot of people don't talk about that shit. So I'm glad that you came on here, because I know we talked about modeling. We came here because at first I just thought we were going to just talk about modeling. But when you sent me that message last night, I said, oh my God, this is way up my alley. I really love talking about health and fitness because this is something that I'm really like trying to drive into my friends and my family and any of my viewers, because it's really important. Because when the shit hits the fan, don't wait until the shit hits the fan to try to fix yourself. Like, our health is so important. Everything we eat is so important.
Yeah, the way that I like to see it, and I really appreciate the gratitude that you just shared with me, because this is something that I really want to get out to my community as well, because a lot of people, and this has everything to do with my manifestation and what I share and the way that I portray myself on social media. But when it really comes to like my core values and like what I'm passionate about, a lot of people think that it's modeling, but it's really not. It's health. And I absolutely want to share this with everybody that I know, everybody that may come across this video, and really get across to them like how important it is to take care of yourself and how good you will feel about yourself. It's not, okay, I want to reword this a little bit different, but health is a desire that every last human being has. It's not lack of desire, because everybody has this desire, whether you're healthy, whether you're the most unhealthy person in the world, you desire to improve your health. But it's the lack of discipline and it's the lack of awareness on how to that creates all of this, like, I want to say like anxiety and depression. And I'm not saying that these are the only causes of those things, but they're like the leading causes of why you don't feel confident in your body, because you're not taking care of yourself properly. And whether you're, you know, eating McDonald's for breakfast every morning and you switch over to oatmeal for breakfast every morning, or you make an omelet for yourself one time a week, that one small improvement is going to make you feel so good about yourself, and you're going to continue on that path. And it's not the destination, because nobody's going to, I mean, like, the only time you reach a destination in life is when you're dead. It's the journey.
Yeah, we're all going to the same place at the end.
Exactly, but it's the journey of pursuing that that is the fulfillment, you know, and learning more things and wanting to incorporate it into your diet or into your body or into your routine. Like, these are the things that's going to make you feel best about yourself, one step at a time, one meal at a time, one gym visit at a time. Like, these things are going to make you feel so good about yourself. Like, it's uncomparable to anything in this world.
Yeah, because some people are like, they're really good business people, and they're so worried about money. But then they go on vacation, but their health is not 100%. So they're gonna go on vacation, but can you really enjoy a time at the beach? And if you're sick, if you're getting diabetes, if you're I know you can still enjoy your time, but like, can you play with your kids? Can you go hiking? Can you do like things that are really fun? Like, we all want to enjoy this stuff. Like, I don't mean to disrespect nobody. I love everybody, but I just want everybody to be healthy.
Yeah, you just don't want them to miss out on the real values of life. Like you just said, like how people are chasing money, but they're not chasing fulfillment. That's pretty much what you said. Because the real, like, money, and I don't even want to say money, but the real currency on this world, in this, like, you know, physical world, is like fulfillment and wealth and happiness. And that's what, like, true wealth is. It's not money. It's not the yacht that you bought. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're playing with your kids on that yacht, then that's really what you're aiming for, you know, the happiness that you spend with your family or with whoever you see to be your family. But it's the actual, like, action, you know. It's not the money. It's not anything. Like, if you were to be put on an island right now, would you rather prefer food or would you prefer money? No, because money is not going to do anything for you on that island around nobody, but food and, you know, family is going to do, it's going to give you the happiness and it's going to give you the fulfillment, like, you know, the fuel, energy that you need to enjoy your time on that island.
Absolutely.
You know? So yeah, it's definitely, like, really important, and I appreciate that you touched on that subject too.
I put on Facebook not that long ago, health is the real wealth.
Exactly. Yeah. And it is true.
Yeah,
that's
because
that's the biggest quote that I live by.
Yeah, because imagine this, right? I'm a millionaire, right? But then I get cancer. I would give somebody $1 million to get rid of that cancer.
Exactly.
So money doesn't matter when you get a sickness like that. Let's say, like, they say, hey,
they're not asking for money on their deathbed. They're asking for their health back. Yeah. If I could just have one more day of health. If I could just have one more day where I could
they'll give away all that money.
They'll give everything away.
Yeah.
And ultimately, like, that's what really shows, like, what what we should really be striving for on this earth. Yeah.
And on TikTok, one time I seen this kid ask this guy, he said, if I gave you $10 million tomorrow, would you take it? He's like, yeah. Boy. He said, what if I gave you $10 million tomorrow, but I said that you would die like the next day? He's like, no, I don't want it. No way. Because what am I going to do with it?
Right.
You know, so money is not as important as our lives.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when it boils down to it, if I say, I'll give you $1 million, but tomorrow you're not going to live, no way. I don't want $1 million. What are you going to do with $1 million?
Exactly. In my lifespan, I can get over $1 million if I work towards it. And that's another thing I feel like a lot of people like don't really visualize, is that you can accomplish any dream or desire you have in this world if you have like the discipline to get there. If you have like the mindset to get there. But you're not going to have that mindset if you're not fueling your body correctly. Like if you're drinking and eating all these sugary or like like dyes are a really bad thing too, but I'm not going to go all the way into it. If you're eating all this junk food, you know? If you're eating all this junk food, you're not giving yourself the best probability of actually like getting up tomorrow morning and being happy and actually going towards the things that you need to go to. But if like you're eating whole foods or even making an adjustment to eat healthier, then like tomorrow you're going to wake up and you're going to be able to accomplish the things that you want to. You're going to have the mobility, you're going to have the energy, and you're going to have the mindset to stay focused. Brain fog is a huge thing too. You know, people may desire these things, but they're not able to actually like piece together the things that they need to do to get there. But like when you're eating healthy and when you're taking care of your body and, you know, like drinking plenty of water and everything that you need to be doing, like it really clears a lot of that brain fog out of your way, and you're able to create a plan, like a blueprint, step by step, how to get to where you want to be in life, you know. And whether it takes you 2 to 20 to 50 years to get there, you got the longevity and the health and wellness to get there. It doesn't matter, you know.
That's awesome. I really think, this is my opinion, I really think brain fog comes with your gut being clogged up from all the food and not letting your body digest properly. Because if you don't let your body digest properly, you're okay. Imagine my arm moving 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My arm would get tired. Well, our digestive system is getting tired. People are eating as soon as they wake up, then they're eating a lunch, then they're eating dinner, then they're eating snack, they're eating snacks in between all those meals. You know what I mean? In between all of
they're even having meals, if not just snacks.
Just all snacks. So all their day, they're just digesting. And then the standard American diet, they just did a test like in Stanford to a whole bunch of students, and they're giving pizza and burgers, you know, the stuff that, you know,
Grease
people, takes about 14 hours to digest. So if you are a bad eater, fast food eater, that stuff stays in there so imagine, you're not even done, you're going to sleep, let's say you go to sleep 8 hours, you're not even done digesting all the stuff you ate yesterday, and then you wake up, and as soon as you wake up, you start eating again. So the American standard, the people that are not, or Americans, you know, people around here are people like us, like me, like I used to be this guy. I would never give my body enough time, but when I started fasting, it gave my body 16 hours to digest. The next day I would eat my meals within an 8-hour window, and I start thinking better. I created this podcast. I started growing my social media. I started like becoming more of a mindful eater. Like I declogged my gut, and when I declogged my gut, it declogged my brain fog. That's what I meant to say.
No, that's amazing. I would also say too, like, detoxing as far as like juicing goes, and not just any juice. I'm not saying go to, and I hate to even like throw brands under the bus, but I'm gonna say it. I'm not saying go to Kroger and buy Simply lemonade or Simply orange juice and drink that for 3 days straight. What I'm saying is go find somewhere that, in my hopes is to do this very soon, be able to provide this for people. But what you need to do is go somewhere and find somewhere that juices cold pressed juices, and they have like a 3-day or week meal plan of juices. And when you go on a juice cleanse, it cleans your system out, and that is like exactly what you were talking about. A lot of people think that when things don't digest in your body, they're like, okay, well, it goes in and out of my body. No, that's not what like something that's indigestible means. It means that it sits in your body. It goes in and it doesn't come out because it doesn't digest. Your digestive system digests food, but when it doesn't digest, it sits in there. And our like intestines, and I hate to like just go like so deep into this, but our intestines are so long, like I don't even know exactly how many like feet, but
feet.
It's ridiculous how much stuff they can hold. And a lot of people wonder why they can't get rid of the weight that's on them. And they're working out and they're doing these things to get rid of like, you know, the weight that they're trying to lose, but it's because it's in their digestive tract. And that's why they're not able to lose the weight as somebody who just has like, you know, like has built fat or even muscle like on their body. Like when they lose that, it's a lot easier. But when it comes to losing like the weight that's in your digestive system because you can't actually digest it, like that's when brain fog is going to clear. That's when you're going to feel a lot better. That's when you're not going to get all this bloating and inflammation. And like there's this thing called leaky gut that Mark Hyman talks about a lot too. But it's like your lining to your stomach can heal, and it just creates like profound results for you when you're able to actually like clear your system out. But like you were saying, like it does take so long. Meat takes forever too. Like meat can take a really long time to digest in your body too. That's why a lot of vegetarian and vegans, you'll hear them saying like they feel a lot lighter and high energy, because our energy is not going towards digestion. It's going towards like physical activity or like mental activity. And I feel like that's like a really big thing too. But definitely.
And I think like that that helps you sleep, like when because you're not all full, so you're not having like all those gases and like a lot of that and like heartburn, all that. That's because people have so much food.
Reflux, like acid reflux.
All that stuff comes from having too much food inside of our bodies. But like in my example, I let my body digest all that. I do eat meat and all that, but sometimes I don't even eat at noon. Sometimes I wait till 3 p.m. because I might have ate a good meal last night. So I'm like, I don't need, because I come to find out the body doesn't need as much food as I thought it did.
No, it doesn't.
I used to tell people I'm starving. I was 300 pounds telling people I'm starving to death. How am I going to starve to death?
But that's also, that has to do with lack of nutrients in your food.
Nutrients.
So if you're eating a lot of food, on the series that I was just watching last night, they said that a hamburger from like just a regular hamburger, I don't know exactly where it was from, but a hamburger can have like 800 calories, I want to say. I don't know exactly, but just for paraphrase, it said that it had 800 calories in it, but it has no nutritional value, like very little to no nutritional value. But the food that they were like home cooked meals, let's say like you have, for like vegetarian sake, I have a full meal with like vegetables. Let's say I have like kale and carrots and like mushrooms and all, you know, all these different things in it, onions, and then it's like with quinoa or rice, and I have like some tofu or whatever the case may be. That's a nutrients packed meal, and it has so much like nutrients, minerals, and benefits in that one meal. But it's only like on the series, it said it was like 250 calories. And it's insane, the difference of calories. You're eating way more calories with no nutritional value. So you feel full, but you're not getting nothing. Exactly, you're not getting nothing. So when your body starts to digest that, you are going to feel like you're starving because your body didn't gain anything from that. It's empty calories. And that's what people say, like that's what people mean when they say empty calories, because those calories didn't do anything for your body. It literally is just like you eating a bowl of rice and wondering why you're still hungry. Well, because you didn't get any whole foods. You know, you just filled your body. That was all. So it's like, it's amazing, the difference.
And then not only that, but when you eat whole foods, your body like feeds off those. You don't have to use the bathroom as much. Because your body, the fruit turns into like sugars into your body. The meat turns into protein. The only time people like when I used to be big, I used to have to use the bathroom all the time, because I had so many empty calories. All that stuff all that garbage needs to get out. But like when you really eat good food, it goes to your body. It creates muscle. Like all the protein I eat, it creates my muscle. It gives you like the sugars. It actually helps your brain. Your brain needs sugar to function, right? But it doesn't need like that processed sugar. It needs like, you know, from berries, from this, from that. And you know, another thing, if we grew up in Toledo, right, we should be like eating stuff like locally and stuff like that. Like,
that's another
we should buy like the honey from a local honey grower.
Yeah,
We should
because that helps with allergies.
Yeah, yep. We should get the apples from the apple farm. Like people like around here, because that stuff, like it grows here and it has like you said, the allergies and all that stuff is actually helps. And it helps our community too.
Yeah, it helps the community and also helps your immunity system.
Immune system.
Immune system. But yeah, exactly. And another thing that I would recommend to like somebody who's trying to get healthy is find out where your local farmers market is, especially like in the Midwest. We literally can drive down the road. Like as soon as you get out of the city, you drive down the road and there's all these, that's why I love coming back to Toledo. And I know like I'm only 45 minutes away or whatever. Yeah. But like when I come to Ohio, I drive and I see like farmers like on the side of the road, like we sell squash, pumpkins, onion, you know, like whatever they got, like you can literally stop and buy cucumbers, like corn. You can buy these things, tomatoes on the side of the road here. And a lot of people take that for granted because we're so caught on Kroger in these like mass production companies, Walmart, Meijer, like we don't have to shop there. There's local farmers markets almost anywhere. I mean, anywhere that I've ever been. Yeah. And you can stop there and you can get local food that's actually gonna like nurture your body way better than the store.
Yeah, a lot of those store stuff have pesticides and all that stuff all over. Even the fruit, they said the pesticides actually goes into the fruit.
Yeah, so that's something I'm really big on too. This like health journey has taken me like so deep into everything, and I love that you're bringing up a lot of points that like I wouldn't have even thought to mention. But I appreciate you like bringing these things like to the podcast, because you're so right. These pesticides that are getting sprayed all over our fruits and vegetables to make them look perfect, because the typical consumer would rather buy something that's perfect than deformed or that has a couple of spots on it, or whatever the case may be. And organic does help, but they still have pesticides on them. It doesn't exempt them from pesticides. And even our farmers market probably has some degree of some type of like bug repellent, you know, that they're spraying onto their food. Now, I'm not saying it's absolutely terrible and it's gonna, you know, mess up your microbiome, like gut microbiome. But what I am saying is like, no, it's really hard to get away from them. And the best thing to do, like when you buy these fruits and vegetables, because there's no avoiding it, is don't buy them pre-cut, because if they're pre-cut, 9 times out of 10 they weren't washed. And another thing is like when you do get them fruits and vegetables, you wash them on your own. And I don't just mean running them under water, but I mean like getting like 2 big stainless steel bowls, filling them up with water, putting they have like fruit and veggie wash out there now. I don't know about that stuff. I won't buy it, and I don't know anything about it, so I'm not trying to discourage anybody from buying it, but I don't know much about it. But you can get water and apple cider vinegar. And what that apple cider vinegar is going to do is break that, like, it's oil based most of the time. So what it's going to do is break that barrier and actually be able to like wash off the pesticides. And that stuff is like destroying the inner like body as well. So definitely like getting that off of your fruits and vegetables is like a huge part of like staying healthy, because a lot of people think, oh, if I eat whole foods, like I'm healthy. There's so many precautions that we have to take in today's day and age to make sure that our bodies like not being like filled with chemicals and, you know, processed food or like terrible dyes or sugars or whatever the case may be. You have to really like be mindful. And another thing I want to mention too is when you look at something like, for example, like let's say this bottle is like, you know, a probiotic shake or whatever, like the front's gonna say healthy and it's gonna look absolutely amazing and it's gonna say clean and natural ingredients and all these things, but the front is literally just a billboard to get you to buy it. And that's the way you have to see things. It does not matter what it says on the front at all. You have to look at the back, because that's where they're gonna have to list the facts. And 9 times out of 10, like the facts on there aren't even right. Like don't look at the nutritional value thing, look at the ingredients, and you have to know how to read those things too. But some apps that have really helped me, because I don't want to say it's impossible, but I'm still new to my journey, so I don't know every ingredient to avoid. Of course. But there is a really good app called Yucca, and it tells you what's good and bad on like, and I really like Yucca, but it doesn't read everything that I know to avoid. So for example, it doesn't know about the oils that we talked about. So if it has certain oils on it, it'll still say that it's good maybe, but it does show you a lot of things on there. Like if it's bad or whatever the case may be, and what's bad, like the additives or whatever the case may be. But yeah, yucca is a really good one, and you can use that on food and beauty products. And then you can also get the Bobby Approved app, and he is somebody I follow on Instagram. I wish I knew his @name. But he created this app called Bobby Approved, and you can scan it on your phone. Both of these are like on the Apple Store and Google Play. But yeah, you can scan like the barcode on your phone, and it'll say if it's Bobby Approved or not. But yucca will actually tell you why it's not approved on yucca. And yeah, I know that their process is pretty good, but it doesn't mention everything as far as I'm concerned.
So you scan the barcode of the product?
Yeah.
And it'll say if it's Bobby Approved or not?
Yeah, so that's on Bobby Approved. That's the app called Bobby Approved.
And the other one, Yucca, you can do the same thing?
So YUKA.
Oh, YUK. And that does the same thing?
Yeah.
It'll tell you like the nutrient, or like if it's good ingredients or not?
Yeah, so it'll say like, it'll rate it 1 out of 100. The Bobby Approved one would just say Bobby Approved or not Bobby Approved. And I wish he gave a little bit more detail. I almost want to like comment on his Instagram like, hey, we want to know why it's not approved, you know? Yeah. It's a fairly new app though. I want to say he came out with it literally like a month or two ago. So I'm sure he'll come up with some new updates. But the yucca one, I don't know how long that one's been around. That's the first one I ever knew about, and I've been using it a lot longer. And it'll tell you, it'll like rate it 0 out of 100, and then why it's 0 out of 100. So like just looking at it from like a quick glance, it'll say like too salty, too sweet. The calories, like if it's too caloric or something like that, however they word it. And then it'll also say like, I think it has like a couple other things that it mentions too, but it'll say if the additives, like how many additives it has, and like I think it says preservatives too, but it'll have like additives and then something else. I want to say preservatives, but don't quote me. And on the additives, it'll say like if they're hazardous, it'll have red ones, or it'll have orange ones or yellow ones. The red ones are hazardous, the orange ones are like caution, and the yellow ones are like mediate. But the hazardous ones, which you'll see a lot of times, is that they're like illegal in other countries, or they're like known to be hazardous in America, but we still allow them, which is insane. And then you're able to like click on it, and it'll tell you like exactly what it is and why, and like what like different countries like why they don't let them in their countries. And it's just it's amazing. I really like that.
I've heard there's like so many ingredients that it's illegal all over the world, but people, the FDA approves them here. Yeah,
the FDA, I really just hate to speak on them because they're terrible. I don't know what they're doing. They're getting paid to do absolutely nothing. They're getting paid to write things off. That's literally all they do. And like I hope everybody who needs to hear this hears this podcast because it's very true.
All that big government stuff feels like, sometimes I feel like all those organizations are just like to put people in there and just make money. There's really not like, I don't know. I don't know too much about the FDA. I just know they approve a bunch of ingredients that like other countries do not want in their country. Yeah. So it's kind of weird that we let all this stuff pass through our system. It's like, do you want Americans to get sick?
Oh, 1000%. That's like, literally like they are like so focused on like money. It's ridiculous. Like they don't care about like the quality of people's like lives anymore. They don't care about like what it's actually going to do like to the population. A lot of these things aren't studied on. A lot of them are just kind of getting paid off by other companies. If you see like who funds the FDA, you'll be in shock because it's the same people who they're approving. You know, it's insane the way like, I don't know everything, but I know enough to know
I've heard about all that
stuff. The FDA is not doing us any justice, and I know that for a fact.
When you go like to see who their donors is like Kellogg's and this and that, like Nabisco. It's like companies that have the bad food is the ones giving these organizations all the money.
And it's like, okay, we'll pay your checks as long as you say that like our food's good. And a lot of things they don't even regulate, like water, for example, like and how long water sits in these bottles stagnant. Water's meant to move. If you look anywhere in the world, it's through waterfalls in the ocean. It's constantly moving. Water's not supposed to be stagnant. How long water sits in these bottles, they don't even regulate water. Like, and that's like what our body's 75, 80%, you know, like filled up with, like 70%, whatever the case may be. Like, it's pretty much water.
Yeah, everything.
And they don't care like what type of water we're drinking or anything like that. Like the microplastics, like I can go on and on.
Yeah, microplastics are really bad.
It's terrible. You know,
said we're drinking and eating about a credit card either a week or a month. I forgot.
A month.
A month.
But yeah, it's insane. Like how much, and that stuff is indigestible too, and like how it gets stuck in the body. And these are just things that like we really just have to be like aware of, and like as a community, like we really need to hold the people accountable that are letting this stuff into our lives, because you know, as a company, as a community that allows companies to provide our food for us, if you control the food, you can control the people. And that's the biggest thing. Like, people need to understand like how we're being controlled, you know, like so. Yeah,
a lot of people don't understand that. Then those microplastics, I guess they're like hurting men's like their hormones and all. I mean, I'm sure women too. I guess all kinds. There's like a podcast all about microplastics that I listened to one day.
Do you know what it's called? 'Cause I don't have a podcast specifically on it, but I hear about it.
No, it was a lady. She did a study, but she was on Joe Rogan's podcast. But it was all about microplastics. But she actually has a book and she has a bunch of stuff. I just don't remember her name.
Oh wow.
But I'm sure if you look up Joe Rogan microplastic, you'll find her.
Okay.
And she's the one that said that it's hurting men's like reproduction. It's actually making men more feminine. Like them plastics are like hurting our like sperm counts, all kinds of stuff. And she said that we're swallowing and eating about a credit card worth of plastic every month.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's
and you know,
crazy.
it's like it's become to where like babies that are getting born into this world now are getting like born with a percentage of microplastic in their body
already.
Yeah, because of how much is in like the regular human's body. It's insane, like how it's just like going about. But there's different ways to avoid it though.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to.
Is this part of how you avoid it?
Yeah, so this is a stainless steel bottle. It's not my absolute favorite. I prefer glass, but my glass one broke, so this is where I'm at right now.
Okay.
But yeah, stainless steel is a lot better than plastic, or like. I can't really think of anything else. I mean, I guess you could carry it in plastic, glass, or metal, but metal's a really good one. But
how
you
about
gotta
aluminum? I've seen people aluminum too.
There's also copper you can like carry stuff into.
I think aluminum's probably bad because it probably seeps into the water.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I think stainless steel's fine.
Yeah.
I would also recommend like glass too, but you want to make sure that it's lead free. You really have to watch like every angle in today's age, because like toxins and chemicals and heavy metals and microplastics are literally everywhere. But yeah, you definitely want to like go with glass or stainless steel, and it has to be lead free glass or stainless steel.
How about your water source?
So I personally have a Kangen water ionizer, which is fairly new to me because I got it within like the past month. I've been researching it for the past like year and a half, I want to say, which is like, it's by far the best water ionizer on the market. It's actually a medical grade it's a medical grade ionizer. They actually use it over in Japan, in Okinawa, which is what I was telling you about earlier, but in their hospitals, because over there they actually care about, you know, making people healthy in the hospital. And I hate to say it that way, but like our hospitals, they feed us like Jello and popsicles with high fructose corn syrup in it, and obviously that stuff is doing our bodies no good. But yeah, like it originated where one of like the blue zones are, which is absolutely amazing. But what it does is it pretty much takes like, it has medical grade titanium plates, and it charges the water to where you're able to choose like the acidity or alkalinity of the water. So you can choose it anywhere from like 2.5 to 11.5. And again, this is still like, for me to recite it to you, it's still kind of new for me. But I've been absolutely loving it since I've gotten it. And yeah, it pretty much makes the water like, it charges the water, but it also, like through the ionization process, it makes the water small enough to where it's able to hydrate your body on a cellular level, which is absolutely amazing. But yeah, that's pretty much.
That's awesome. I need to check into something like that because I need to find some better water source, because I drink just plastic bottles of and most of the time I drink purified water, and I guess that's not really that good for you. It has no minerals or nothing.
And like even a lot of the alkaline waters, like pretty much if you're getting it out of a bottled water, like I was telling you before, the FDA does not regulate stuff like that. So you don't know how long it's been sitting in that bottle, and like water's meant to move, like I was saying earlier. So like if it's not like in motion, it's pretty much dead water, and it's not actually like giving your body what you need. And because your body's made up of mostly water, it's really important to get like a healthy source. You don't have to go as far as me. I just pretty much want like the best of the best always when it comes to my health. And I definitely recommend you to strive for that. But like in the meantime, you can get like a some type of like purifier, or I don't know which one to exactly recommend. I was using Brita and I could not stand it. I couldn't wait to get rid of it because it's actually owned by PNB, which is like Clorox and all the other companies that's like owned by it. But yeah, it claims to like filter and purify the water, and like alkaline, I don't know if it like claims to make it alkaline or not, but regardless, it pretty much doesn't do what they say they do. And it just masks the problems, but it doesn't get rid of them. And but
so,
I definitely think that there's some better ways than just like regular bottled water.
Absolutely.
Maybe like going through like a higher filtration, or I know there's actually like minerals that you can add back into your like purified water too. I don't know much about them. I just kind of went with the Kangen route, or Kangen route, but pink
Himalayan salt, they said to do a little pinch, and it'll give you like some, some salt, some electrolytes and stuff. Like, especially if you're after a workout and you feel real dehydrated, you put a pinch of salt in just any water. You put a little pinch of salt, and it gives you some hydration, because the water, that salt actually lets the water go into your body a little bit, into your muscles and stuff like that. Man, I really appreciate all this like health and fitness stuff. Like this is like, I love.
We didn't even touch on fitness really, but
yeah, no,
definitely.
But yeah, I like all this health stuff. Like this is crazy. Like, I want to get back a little bit into your modeling. I want to ask you a little bit more about your modeling. But I do appreciate all the health stuff, because that, I love talking about that kind of stuff. So do you have any upcoming events or any upcoming shows or anything? I don't know exactly what models do. Can you tell me a little bit about anything upcoming?
I have some upcoming photo shoots, but they're kind of just like personal projects that I'm doing to add to my book. So I'm kind of, I've drawn back a little bit from being so out and about, and I've kind of like stepped back on the bookings and the castings, and I'm really just looking for representation right now, and I'm building my book and portfolio, which I'm really excited about. So no upcoming events currently, but in 2024, it's definitely going to be like a wild ride. Yeah,
it's going to be, it's time for you in 2024.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. All right, can you tell me some of like your challenges through your journey for modeling? Like what goes on? Like what are some things that you've had trouble with?
As far as challenges go, I would say just filtering out like professionalism. So a lot of people would demand professionalism but won't give it. And I feel like the best way to deal with circumstances like that is to just show up as your best self. And if you see the environment not fitting to you, don't return. You know, like, I mean, follow through with your commitment, but better opportunities will come towards you. So definitely, like, I would say just like the quality of people that you work with definitely determines like the quality that you put out in your career. And I don't mean to like degrade anybody by any means, but some people are just in this for fun, and some people are actually trying to build a career out of it. So if that's what you're trying to do, just find out what it is your goals are, and align, like people will align with that, you know. But carry yourself and treat people the way that you want to be treated. And I would also say just be careful about like, for any like up and coming models or anything like that, just being careful about who you shoot with, because there are definitely some, I don't want to say creepy, but for lack of a better word, there are definitely some photographers out there that don't have your best interest of heart, and you just want to be careful, because people can definitely be like conniving, you know. So you just want to like watch your back and make sure you do your research on people before you go and like shoot with them, or if you know models that have shot with them, ask what type of photographer they are, and if they made you feel comfortable, and just kind of get like, you know, cross your T's and dot your I's when it comes to like dealing with people. And let's see, what other advice I would have?
It's like challenges. I was asking you about challenges.
Well, yeah, but I feel like
those
when it
are
comes to like
both,
my challenges, yeah, you know,
it's like the same. Yeah, okay, yeah. Advice, but it's advice.
Well, yeah, I mean, those are just challenges that I went through, just like dealing with people who weren't really professional, and then also like running into like photographers who say they're photographers but aren't really photographers, you know, and they just kind of like want to get around you or whatever the case may be. So definitely like be wary of things like that. But outside of that, I'd say like creative blocks. If you run into one, or if you feel like you're not really like fulfilling your purpose, don't push through the resistance that like the universe is giving you or source is giving you. Understand that it's not your time, and just kind of sit back a little bit and put your energy somewhere else, because creative block is a thing, but you don't want to like force content that doesn't really like give you fulfillment when you can just step back, recoup, re-energize, you know, like do some things that make you happy and then come back 10 times better. Because I definitely feel like I've done that, where I've kind of like pushed myself into a creative field and didn't really feel it and didn't produce content that I really liked from it. But if I would have just sat back a little bit, which is kind of like what I've learned to do at certain moments when I feel like this, but sat back a little bit, and then when I come back, I'm like even more creative than ever before, and I'm able to like, it's almost like a rebranding. It's like you need to reload, you know, and that's the way that I see it. So
yeah, like don't force nothing. Like let some things like evolve
it'll
and
just
come
come
natural.
To you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so like when you were talking about your first challenges, like being professional and making sure that you do research on somebody and all that. So I just want a little bit of feedback on me, because do you feel like I've been professional to the podcast, and like would you recommend for someone to come to the podcast and it's, you know what I mean, like it's okay, like because you did, I'm sure you did your research, right? You went,
definitely. I went and watched.
You went and looked some stuff, and
so, when we met, obviously at my garage sale, you just came across as a very genuine person. We had an amazing conversation back then, and I, based off what you told me that day when we set up the podcast, and we set up like the date later on that day or something like that through text message, you came across as very professional. You gave me a layout, even though we planned months ahead, because this was back in like May, I want to say.
Yeah.
It's October now.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I mean, we planned months ahead. You told me what it would be when I got here. You told me what you're aspiring to do. This is new for you. And you also told me that, like, you know, this is fun. So I think that this has absolutely been amazing. I love your progress. I think that it's beautiful the way you have this thing set up. I went and watched some of your videos. I can tell that you're a genuine person. And you're just interested in sharing people's story along with your own. And I think that that's beautiful. So I would definitely say that you're a professional.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, because I'm striving to become better, and that's why I prepared myself. And even though I was running a little late, I was still
But you weren't really running late though.
No.
You know,
but I was
like you got here early, but you were running late on your own time.
Yeah, I was running late. I was trying to get here like at 4:30, but I got here like at 5.
Yeah, but it wasn't till 6 that we even planned to record. So I would just say give yourself more grace, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you so much for saying that, because I am really hard on myself.
But you don't got to be, you know?
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so throughout life, or even in your modeling, who has been or who are your role models?
I would say I definitely think that my parents are some pretty good role models. They have always pushed me to be like a better version of myself, and I don't want to say they've always supported who I was, because they definitely were kind of like skeptical for a little bit, but I'm just kind of like doing my own thing. And when they finally realized that about myself, that I'm going to do my own thing and I'm going to be successful in that, then they were like they applauded me on that. So I definitely appreciate that, that level of freedom and like trust that they give me in my journey. But outside of that, I would like to say like some of the podcasts that I listen to, Jay Shetty is a huge like role model for me, because I just love his journey and like where he's come from and how he's like pursued his life, and the level of like certainty that he has. I don't want to say certainty because everything in life can be uncertain, but like the energy that he brings to his journey, I really love that about him. I would also say Mel Robbins, as far as like motivation goes, she's absolutely amazing.
I listen to her all the time.
Yeah, she's
almost
really
every
good.
day.
Yeah, she's really good. I also have this one woman that I listen to. I recently found her in June of this year, and I know that these are all like fairly recent, but I want to say in the past like 2 years is when like role models really started to influence me. But Esther Hicks, you can find her on YouTube. All of her videos are about 15 minutes long. She is so motivational. She's amazing. She has everything to do, like she speaks about everything to do with like the human experience and aligning your vibration with like your desires and getting into the vortex, what she refers to as alignment pretty much. But you don't have to wait to be happy. You can be happy right now because it's a feeling, and you don't have to let outside factors control your emotions. So no matter what you're going through,
I love that.
It's amazing. She has literally transformed my life in these.
What's her name again?
Esther Hicks.
Esther
so Ester Hicks. She's amazing. But yeah, she's really good. So I would say those are probably like my top 3. I really love them.
Yeah,
so,
that's awesome. And how about you never looked up to a certain model?
I would say like when it came to like modeling, it really is just like a creative outlet for me. So I would say some that I think are like very inspirational now that like I'm kind of getting more into the industry is Naomi Campbell. I think she's amazing. I really look up to Zendaya. I watched her journey since I was like a kid, and just seeing like how she's grown in the industry has been amazing as well. But I think they have such different lives than me. It's kind of hard to like, I don't know how to explain it, but like adapt to them. But I definitely love like Zendaya's journey, and I feel like I relate to her more than I do Naomi because she's obviously more my generation, and I also strive to be an actress over modeling because even though I've modeled more and I love modeling and I don't think I'll ever let it go, I feel like being an actress is I'm able to express characters and show more emotion, and with modeling it's a little bit more like reserved and still, and I want to express stories as well as my own. So I definitely feel like Zendaya is a really good one too.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. I love asking about role models because I just feel like I know there's not ever just one person, but you get a little piece from this person, a little piece from this person, and then you create your personality, you know. But a little bit from your mom and dad, everybody, you know, a little bit. So okay, what does it feel like? Or no, hold on. I feel like fashion like empowers me. Like when I put this on, right? I feel like this like makes me feel good. Right. And tell me a little bit about that. Why does fashion like make you feel better? Why does like nice clothes or like nice hair and makeup? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it has everything to do with self-expression. So you're able to like create this character, you know, because I mean we're all like non-physical, right? Like our beings are non-physical, but when we get into our physical body, we're able to relate to it more when we dress it up the way that we envision like it to be, and how comfortable that makes us to like express ourselves, you know? So I definitely feel like, I don't even know how to explain it, but when you put a nice outfit on, like, or you get out of your like everyday mundane outfits just to like go dress up and like, you know, walk the town or go to an event or whatever the case may be, it just gives you so much confidence because like you put that together, you know? So I don't know, that's like my take on fashion, but it's definitely like self-expression, you know, you're releasing your creativity through your appearance. Yeah,
and it makes you feel so nice and everybody else, you know, and people like tell you, hey, you look nice, oh, you look nice, and then it gives you like a boost of confidence, you know what I mean? I think it's awesome. Okay, so I wanted to ask you a question. What advice would you give to a young adult or a young kid or a young adult that's looking to follow their passion?
I would say don't be scared to fail. Like, and it sounds backwards, but when you try something out and you fail, it's not the end of the world. The more you fail, the faster you're going to get to where you want to be in life, because you're going to go through trial and error, and you're going to be able to like try different things out and like the more you fail, the closer you are to doing what you like are meant to do in this world, if that makes sense. Because if you spend your whole life planning or waiting for things to be perfect, that's another thing. Stay far away from perfectionism as possible, because it's never going to be perfect. And that's another thing that Esther Hicks talks about, but it's never going to be perfect and it's never going to be done. And when it is done, you're pretty much dead at that point, because you're always going to be striving for better. You're always going to be striving for more. So the sooner you start, the more you fail, the more you're able to get back up and continue and keep going and keep going and keep going. And eventually, like, that idea of perfect, like, is going, you're going to get there, you know, but it's never going to actually be perfect, because you're always going to strive for more. But yeah, the more you try and like eliminate perfectionism and just like go for it and fail, like, the better off you're going to be, because it's the journey that matters.
The journey is where that's where you get all the joy.
Exactly.
It's not getting that $1 million at the end.
Yeah.
It's actually going through the process.
Right. So it's not like a destination that you're ever going to reach. And the more you're planning and the more you're waiting for this, that, and the third to be aligned, like, when you get there, you're still going to find a reason to keep planning. You just have to go for it and just start with what you got. That's like the best way for me to put it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great advice. I appreciate that so much. All right, so I always ask people, what are their biggest goals and their dreams for your fashion, for your or not even that, for you? What are your biggest goals? Because I have a feeling that you're not only into that your fashion is going to lead you to like health, fitness, movies. There's so much more. So like, what is the biggest dreams for you?
My biggest dream?
Yeah, I believe that we can manifest anything we want in our life as long as we speak it out in the universe hears, and somehow it wraps around and comes back to us.
Yeah, definitely.
So I believe that. So even though like maybe none of this happens, but I believe to speak it into existence to see if anything can ever happen from that. So
I would say my biggest dreams, I'm going to give 3 different points for acting, modeling, and health and wellness.
That's awesome. Give me that. That's what I want.
Thank you. Oh, I'm excited. So acting, I would say to be on the big screen, to get some like lead roles in some movies, like, you know, A-list movies, like high quality movies, and be able to project a character that is not me but has parts of me, like, so like amazing. I would also say, like, as far as the modeling goes, like, I feel like these things, I just want to put into perspective that like my last goal is my most favorite goal. And as far as like acting and modeling goes, I love these, but they're just fun, and that's the way that I view it. Now, don't get me wrong, it can still be a career and be fun, but it's not my passion, you know? But as far as like modeling goes, I would love to like walk into like a store and see me on like the front cover of like Elle magazine or like New York Times Square or like Vogue or just a really big magazine.
Like a big cover.
Very big print campaign. I think that'd be amazing. Or billboards. Like I think that would be really cool. So that's what I'm definitely striving for as far as that goes. But as far as like the health and wellness goes, my goal is to elevate the collective human consciousness. So if I can get like one person from this video, like from this podcast, who watch this podcast, and they go out and like I inspire them to improve their quality of life, like that is like my biggest goal for me. And the more people I can get to do that, the happier I'm gonna be. That's awesome. That's my big thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. That's a very good, like, health and fitness is like the most important thing. So okay, so I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for coming on Big Yogi's Garage.
Thank you for having me.
And chopping it up. And then where can you just tell everybody where they can follow you and, you know what I mean, spell out everything and make sure you let everybody because I'm not sure that everyone that I know knows you. So give everybody the information and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm currently on Instagram and that's pretty much it. I don't have a Twitter or anything like that. YouTube coming soon, but on Instagram for now, you can follow me at Vivica India. So VIVICAINDIA. That's where you'll find me at. Yep, and she does freelance modeling, and post a lot of your stuff, whether you model and all that stuff. So you can find pretty much most of my work on
on my Instagram, I am revising a website, so I'll have all like my big photo shoots or like pretty much my whole portfolio on there. The videos that I've been in, the work that I've done, New York Fashion Week, Michigan Fashion Week, everything like that will be on there as well. If you're interested in booking me, I have my Gmail in my bio, so you can just click on that and send me a message and I'll get back to you.
And are you willing to work with people in Toledo too, since you're
1000%.
Detroit?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know a lot of different artists and stuff that are watching the podcast now that I'm getting bigger. So maybe you can even get a job from this podcast.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm kind of selective on my concepts.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm definitely interested in working with creative, like innovative creators. And if you're interested, just send it my way and I'll let you know if it fits.
Yeah.
But right now I'm kind of like on the reserved side. Like I was telling you before, I'm kind of building my book. So if you're interested, send it my way and we can definitely work something out or postpone it for later on. But yeah, more things to come.
That's awesome. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching Big Yogi's Garage. I appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you subscribe, follow, share, like, do your thing, man. Give us some feedback. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week on Big Yogi's Garage. Let's go!